Now, as I close here, in just a few moments, let me just say this, is that there's an underlying thing here that goes on. People say, well, I don't want to intrude in people's lives. I preached a message not too many years ago, and I preached about the fact that the gospel is kind of intrusive. And I had someone to say, well, you tried to talk me out of sharing the gospel half your message. And what that person was saying is this: many of us have it in our mind, I want to share the gospel, I want to get the word of God out, but I'm not going to do it at the expense of offending anyone, confronting anyone, or offending anyone. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. I don't want to confront. I don't want to offend. Now, if I can share and I want to share the gospel, if I can share the gospel in some non-confrontational way that I would not offend anyone, then that's what I'll do. You don't want me up here preaching on sin and hell and things because, oh man, that may offend someone, because that's the most important thing. Now, if you were to be honest with yourself, many of you are in that same camp. Now, Paul did not want to offend anyone. Paul did not want to confront anyone. I'm sure that he was rejected and embarrassed many, many times, but it doesn't matter. Paul was going to share the gospel anyway. Now, I hope that if you ever see me going down the road, and this could have actually couldn't happen today, but it could have happened years ago, when I'm going down the road in one of those, family minivans, whatever, and you're right behind me, and you notice that one of my boys has now rolled down the window and is hanging out of the window like this. And they're smiling, man, like a lap dog or something. Hey, this is great, this is fun. I hope that you would try to stop my car. I don't want to blow my horn. I might offend that guy. I don't want to sit on my horn. I might offend that guy. I don't want to go around him and motion to him because I might, that's kind of confrontational. What's going to happen to people? I know that the whole concept of hell is very unpopular. And I can admit there was a time in my life where I said, God, how can this be? It bothers me, but I do believe it. I believe in a literal interpretation of the Bible, and I do believe in hell. And that's where you're going to go unless you come through Jesus Christ. I don't like believing that. It breaks my heart to believe it. If there was one reason why I was going to reject the Christian faith, and I was, if I had not already received, that would probably be the main reason. I don't always get it. I can't put it all together in my finite mind. Some people are trying to air condition hell these days, as Francis Chan would say. There are books written to explain it away. And then others that are well-meaning, like a J.P. Moreland, which is a great philosopher out in California, would say that all of these things about hell are figurative. Now, I don't believe that, but he believes that. He says things like, for example, the darkness is a void of God in the Bible. That's true. It is at times. Fire is a symbol of judgment. That's true. The worm can be a symbol for conscience, the conscience not dying. And I would probably say that is true. But what if he's right and I'm wrong? I wonder if it is figurative and not literal. Then I don't want to intrude on somebody's life. It's not worth it. I don't want to confront anyone. Let me ask you this then. So you're saying that somebody dies, your loved one, someone you know, dies. They go to a place that is void of good, void of God, where God is never going to be, ever. There's the darkness of judgment all around. They're alone. And all around them are the most depraved people that have ever lived in society, and surrounding them are the demons that inspired them. And they're away from God forever and forever and forever. But then again, I don't want to intrude on their life. It's not an intrusion. It is a confrontation in a way, because there's no way I can come and say, even if I tell people I'm a sinner, if I tell them they're a sinner, then obviously they're going to be confronted, but not necessarily in a negative way at all. And you're not going to be intruding because you're there. They're going to see within a few minutes you're there to help them. because you love them. And so what is it? How can we do this? Well, why don't you just start going to the same businesses all the time and start establishing relationships with people? Why don't we start there? When do you do it? When? You got to do it now.